What's going on, everybody? I am Chris Knight. This is Khaos Central's The Bad Batch Roundtable, and we're here to discuss episodes 9 and 10 of The Bad Batch today. Sorry, last week I wasn't feeling that great. Still not feeling that great. Still dealing with some allergies and stuff, but we'll get through that. We're gonna get through it today. And let's see, who has the echo?
Shifty does.
Shifty
I do.
does.
Yeah, I do. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, I'll let you fix that. Anyways, before we get to all this, before we talk about our likes, dislikes, and our overall thoughts and all that stuff, we're going to go around the panel and have everybody introduce themselves. We'll start down here with Mr. Austinator McMahon.
That's me. Hello, I'm the Austinator, back again to talk about the best frickin' show ever, The Bad Batch.
Well, we're demonetized.
And then we got, gonna try my best to keep my composure here. And then we got Bad Batch and more, and then Mando on Wednesday. 1, 2, 3, hip hip hurrah. Just find me on my channel. Just find me everywhere.
Are you not looking forward to The Mandalorian?
At this point, anything would be better than The Bad Batch. Maybe that's the only thing I'm looking forward to with Mando is at least it gives me something other to talk about other than the frickin' Bad Batch. Which there's one word in that title that's absolutely accurate to the show. And no, it's not and no, it's not batch. There's another word before that. Bad.
I think you're just being too hypocritical about it.
I am not.
Alright, well, we'll find out about that. Nindroid, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, please.
Alrighty, you guys can just check me out on my Star Wars channel, Star Wars Network. There's also going to be a superhero channel called Superhero Network starting up soon. Galactic Chat is this Wednesday, where we talk about... Thursday. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where we review Mando, Season 3, Episode 1. So, yeah.
No!
Whoopie-doo. And thank you, Chris, for having me on.
Well, thank you for making it. I'm sorry. I was going to do it last night and still felt like crap. And now still feel like crap. But I'm like, no, I can't keep pushing this thing off. So
yeah,
I'm glad you could make it today. At the expense of bad weather, too, though. That's not the good thing. That's not great. Hey, it happens. And, well, when it happens, we're the benefactors. Yay, us. You're like, yay, let's get this over with. Hurry up, please. Shifty, tell everybody about yourself.
I'm Shifty. You can find me on Twitter.
Yes, you can. And how's that Royal Rumble coming?
I dropped off on it because I've been playing through Last of Us as I'm watching the show. So I'm doing up to each episode I play up to that part in the game. And I also got a couple new games. I'm falling behind. I only got 6 guys done. But I got another month to go before WrestleMania, so that's when I was going to try to get it done by. So,
Well, from what I've heard, and I haven't watched it yet, but from what I've heard, The Last of Us is literally following the game almost step.
Kind of. I could talk more about that. I could talk more about that than Bad Batch, for sure.
Oh, boy.
See, we need a break. We need to, broaden our horizons about some roundtables and, other shows.
Just if everybody else can do it, and if anybody else can do the actual stream, because, if I can't do it or if I haven't watched it, then, I got my fingers crossed that everybody can get on that Alien TV show when it comes out. Which one?
Alien for FX.
I'm not hopeful for that.
Oh, I am. Noah Hawley.
For She-Hulk.
Yeah, but Noah Hawley, the dude that gave us Fargo and yeah, he's writing it. So
okay. we will have to see. All right, guys. I am Chris Knight, Real Review 3000, of course, as it says right down here. And we're going to talk about Bad Batch, episode 910, The Crossing and Retrieval. So, first off, guys, what's your overall thoughts of these two episodes? We'll go down to the Austinator.
Well, have you ever heard the phrase taking 2 steps forward and 5 steps back? Well, that was these past 2 episodes. Like, I don't know what is going on over there. Well, I do know it's like a circus over there. But I watched these past episodes because I took the last 4 episodes. I haven't seen them until literally like Sunday, I believe. And so I watched the Clone Conspiracy episodes and I thought they were good. I'll be the first one to say it. I'll put the foot in my mouth because, you know, it at least did something to, you know, develop, a story. I know, real shock there. And then it's like, oh, we're finally getting somewhere. No, instead we're going to then do 2 more episodes of filler. It's like, I don't know. This show, this season as a whole, like 3 out of 10. 3 episodes out of 10 actually have done more to develop a story, and that's not a good thing. And I'll get into more about why, because honestly, I had nothing. There was not anything I liked in these 2 episodes. So,
So should I just skip you when I come to what did you like?
yeah, you might as well, because I'm literally just going to tell you nothing.
I'm going to ask anyways. I'm going to make you come up with one thing on each of these episodes that you like. So better be ready.
All right, I'll try.
Nindroid, tell me, what are your overall thoughts?
Yeah. Overall, I felt like these episodes were very underwhelming compared to the other 2-parter with the Clone Conspiracy and Palpatine appearing and all that. That was such a great 2-parter, and it's like the story was really going up, and I was like, oh, now that so these were the first 2 episodes that we haven't gotten any footage for with the trailers and all that, because they only showed the first like 8 episodes within the trailers and all that. So I was really expecting some like, okay, well, we're going to progress now the story. Slow start, we're going to progress in the story. In my opinion, it didn't really progress a whole lot. That's my overall opinion.
Fair enough. Shifty, overall thoughts?
Oh man, wow, these 2 were just bottom of the barrel. I mean, well, I like them better than the racing one, but I don't know. I saw the first one, and I was like, well, I'll give it a pass because they might be setting something up with when they reveal who stole it, and that there was no surprise with that, and it actually made me kind of angry when there wasn't no surprise when we found out who was the culprit. But I'm not going to have much in the way of likes either for these 2 episodes. It was just crap.
Okay. Interesting. These 2 episodes. Well, okay, let's start with just the fact that they worked well together, and I think there's a heavier thing going on here than what we needed to see. There's more going on to this than what we actually saw. Maybe that's what I mean. But they worked well together. They looked good, but I won't disagree with you guys. It needs to do more for the overall central plot, which might have something in this that was central plot, but not obvious enough that it helped these 2 episodes. So, likes, since I'm going to give Austinator a little more time, I'm going to start over here with Shifty. Shifty, what were your likes?
Really just one thing in between the 2 episodes. In episode 10, when they're all on the bridge, they started playing music similar to Temple of Doom when they were all on the bridge at the end of that movie. Also, the mines, child labor. They pulled a lot from Temple of Doom in that second episode, and that's about the only thing I can say that I kind of liked. I mean, it was just mediocre all around. I mean, I would rather watch. I would rather watch Resistance than these last two episodes.
I have not watched Resistance, but I've heard a lot of people had a lot of resistance against it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your like. Nindroid. Any likes?
Okay. I do actually have two.
Okay.
One, we saw the Gonk droid back again from season 1. I liked seeing the Gonk droid back because it's almost like they completely forgot that they had a Gonk droid. You know, hasn't even been in the show.
They had him in the storage in the back, in the cargo.
Yeah. I feel bad. It's like, that's their droid. Like, come on now, Gonky, come on. We need to see more of the Gonk droid. You know, but we need a Gonk droid spinoff anyway. You know?
Are you sure about that?
100%. You know.
Okay.
But no. My other thing that I do actually like was the character development, I guess, or more so interaction between Tech and Omega in the first episode. I like that because I feel like we need to start, like, that was somewhat of what I want from Bad Batch. I want, like, the biggest issue with Bad Batch is that we're not attached to any of these clones. Like, we're not attached to any of these characters, to really say the least. And it's like, they need to start feeling like a family. And I actually felt like that, like, brief conversation that Omega and Tech had in episode 9, I actually felt like, oh, okay, well, they kind of did that a little bit. It could have been executed better, though. So, yeah, those are, like, my only two positives, though. Also, the animation is always great. So, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And the Lastinator.
Well, I'm gonna go look through my list of likes. I got like 5 pages of them. Let's see here. First up, I mean, it was cool hearing Yuri Lowenthal's voice. If you don't know, he actually voiced Spider-Man in the Insomniac Spider-Man game. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, the animation looks good. I guess the character development, even then, I didn't really care for it. I'm really grasping for straws here, so, like, bear with me. The Gonk droid, I guess, because at least, you know, it kind of gave me something to, you know, I don't know, just like, I'm grasping at straws, guys. These two episodes are bad.
When I say I want you to have something, I want you to really think, what is something I can say positive about? You don't have to say, if you didn't like that stuff, I mean, don't say you liked it.
No, see, okay, let me reiterate. I appreciate what they were trying to do with Omega and trying to give her a little bit of character development. I will give them props on that, but I feel like at points it got annoying because then it's like, they're gonna resolve this in an episode anyway, and then it's like, well, it feels like we're rushing stuff, but at the same time, like, we're like 10 episodes in. Like, and again, the animation was good, but it's like, how many times can I keep repeating myself of, oh, the animation looks great? Like, at some point, you just got to be like, look, we got to stop judging the animation. Now we got to start judging what's going on the screen. And yeah, I will give them that when they were drilling the mineral and stuff. It looked pretty. I'll say that. It looked pretty. Like, the animation's nice. But it's, after a while, it's like, all right, how many times can I really say the animation looks good? And quite frankly, I have more negatives than positives, so I really have nothing else to say other than, really, those are just the only positives I could really think of off the top of my head.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Positives, I mean, I think, the animation goes without saying. Although I did find myself near the end when they were doing when they're coming back out of the mines and raising it up. It really did look more like it was the movies than it did the animation. It was really interesting.
That's
was like-
true. Yeah.
I was like, I saw that. I was like, man, that's like looks really, really nice. Again, with these, the straight line they draw to where they start and where it's going to end up, it's very obvious what they're going to do. But I do think they did very well with the movement of these two episodes from one to the next. I said that they worked really well together, and Danny is here. They worked really well together, and I think that it was cohesive together. And when you're looking for things to be positive about, that's something to be positive about. Is that okay? Episode 9 to episode 10. You can watch these side by side, and they work really well. I can't even say that about episodes 7 and 8. While 7 and 8 were good, the Clone Conspiracy was really good. The jump to the next one was kind of rough, I thought. This one was pretty much straight through, and it worked really well. I almost thought that they were going to take the other kid with them. I almost thought, oh, okay, so they lost one guy. They're going to take this kid now. Now we're going to have 2 kids a part of the Bad Batch, and that didn't happen. So thankfully, that didn't happen. That seemed to be something that was like written in it, and they didn't do it. So I was glad they didn't do it. Yeah, I see the correlations to not Raiders, but Temple of Doom. But I mean, all in all, I mean these episodes work together. But we'll get to the, what we didn't like here in just a second. First off, Danny, I want you to tell everybody about yourself, your channel, and then give us your overall thoughts and then your likes, please, of these 2 episodes.
I'm Danny A.K. Comic Chat. You can find me usually on Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Khaos Central at one of our 3 shows. You can find me here on the Roundtable, whatever night we decide to do it, and also Wednesday nights on the Hangout at 8 p.m. That's Guy Scars. And usually Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me on Storms Live, where we talk about all kind of stuff. Overall, I've come to the realization that this show is not going to be exciting like we want it to be, but I think it is a good learning tool for someone that you're trying to ease into a like my grandson. He's 9 years old, and he likes the show. He watched it and he can comprehend it. So I think it's something that you can introduce to children, maybe not necessarily grown-ups. I think they can absorb a little bit more. But for kids, if you want to ease into Star Wars, and you can show them bits and pieces of it, and then gradually maybe show them the movies, I think it's a good tool for that. I like the previous 2 episodes better, the one with the Emperor, and I kind of like the pace of that one. This one wasn't really bad, just a little repetitive. It seems like everywhere they go to, Omega has a new friend, so she's going to be very powerful with friends and favors and stuff. I think they lead up to something where she's probably going to have to call in all those favors. Everywhere she goes to, they always say, if you need, I think it's got to say, if you need a thief, give me a call. I think on the last one, and the lady that was blue that they said it was very similar to her, she helped her out. So it seems like everywhere she's going, Omega is gathering these friends. So I think it's going to possibly lead to some kind of Bad Batch is going to be in a really bad jam. Omega's going to have to call her friends to help them out or whatever. I can see that happening. It's that little nugget, I think, on the last episode where they called for, I can't think of the lady's name that they worked for to help them. Sid, she kind of leave them high and dry. I think Sid's going to betray them, just like that guy said in 3 or 4 episodes that we ain't seen her true colors. So I think something's going to come to a head. Maybe Sid's going to get in a crunch and maybe sell them out, Crosshair come back in or whatever. But the Emperor has the Bad Batch alive for some reason. I don't know what it is, but usually he ties up all his loose ends. He knows that they're alive. I have no doubt in my mind that he knows they're alive. And the reason why he's not doing it, because maybe he got to order 55 or something for them, and they're going to take out somebody even more important. I don't know, but I think Dave Filoni's flirting with that. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do. These 2 episodes, like I said, if you're looking for excitement, you're not going to find it. But if you're looking for trying to learn the Star Wars lore, that kind of stuff, I think it's a good starting place for a young someone that may be interested in it. You want to introduce them to it. That's what this is for. This is not for the more adult, more mature Star Wars fan that's looking for something more.
Okay. Very good. So our likes are in there. So let's talk about.
I didn't hate it. I mean, I don't hate this series. I have come to the conclusion I know what it's going to be. It's going to be whatever story Dave Filoni want to do, and it's kind of repetitive and redundant. That's a little aggravating, but I'm not getting about 3:00 to watch it. But I'm not when I know it's on and I got time, I tune in. I don't fall asleep on it. So I mean,
Okay.
it ain't the best thing. I'm definitely looking for the Mandalorian. I think the Mandalorian is more for the adult Star Wars fan. This is more for the child Star Wars fan.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go with your dislikes then.
Like I said, the repetitiveness is just a lot of redundancy. Like the same. I know we use this word cookie cutter. It's becoming very cookie cutterish, if that's even a word. They go to a planet. They got a problem. They go to the planet. They get in trouble. They get out of it because they're the Bad Batch. But Baker has a friend. Meets a new friend. Next thing, same thing, over and over and over. Over and over and over and over. They got to change it up. They changed the pace up a little bit before the episode with the Emperor. It was going into I thought was going to the climax, like kind of made another dip back down. So they got 16 episodes, and this is episode 12. Is that something?
This is 9 and 10.
9 and 10. Yeah. So we got 6 more episodes?
Yeah.
So they're gonna do something, and I don't know what they can do. I don't know why they're not having Crosshair more in it.
Yeah,
he has to do something. The one they lost, Echo. I'm not really too, but there's got to be something. I guess Echo and maybe Rex are doing something that's gonna bring Crosshair back into the picture. But they got to pick up the pace. I mean, these last 6 episodes should definitely lead to something, and I don't know if it will based on what we saw from the first 10. But yeah, my biggest thing is redundancy. They are getting very redundant in their stories.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'll get to that here, to mine here in a second. Ninja, go ahead.
Alrighty. No Crosshair. Crosshair, and that's just a whole show thing, whole season. Crosshair hasn't been since episode 3. Episode 3, for crying out loud. We're on episode. Well,
yeah,
now it's gonna be 11. Yeah.
Only one episode has he been?
Yeah, only one episode.
Yeah.
Only one episode. He's one with Cody. And this show also only 3 important episodes thus far. The one with Crosshair and then the Clone Conspiracy 2-parter, basically. That's it. The rest of it doesn't really expand a whole lot about, the main centric story is about, the clones are slowly defecting from the Order. They're starting to get to the realization that, hey, Order 66 may have not been the best thing. The Empire's not really, for us or anything like that, That's their main story. And it's like they're only briefly talking about it, And these episodes, they're just doing the same stuff. They go on to a Sid mission, and then they either succeed or they don't succeed, and it makes the episodes pointless as well, And yes, Omega meets a friend at the end of most, such as Gunji, the old man from Count Dooku, and so much more. It's very repetitive, and overall the show is suffering from its most mediocre. It's just so mediocre. It's like if I got my reign on the show, okay, I would be probably the people of Lucasfilm were like, oh, it's animation. You can do whatever. This is a fill in the gap show. You can do whatever. We just want something animated out there for Star Wars consumers to have a sequel to Clone Wars because season 7 did so well on Disney Plus. I would immediately be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna make it mediocre. I'm not gonna just be like some fill in the gap show. I'm gonna put my hard work and effort into crafting a good story. I'm not really getting that from here. I don't really see the hard work of Dave Filoni that he did with Rebels or Clone Wars. I see more of him not slacking off necessarily, but he's like not focusing as much on this. He probably is focusing a lot on Ahsoka, which it kind of hurts me a little bit because it's like Star Wars should not suffer through mediocre. We should be excited for this, you know?
I agree with you. It's like he's trying to be more cerebral on this instead of being more, I guess, primal and exciting to me.
Exactly, because even Clone Wars and Rebels were more for kids to get, especially Rebels. Rebels was more for kids to get into Star Wars and all of that. You know, that's why it was the first thing Disney put out was Star Wars Rebels back in 2014, and it got so many fans attached, so many younger fans, and then they watched the movies after they enjoyed the first season Rebels and all that. It's like, but that still had mature storytelling and character arcs and all that. That's what we need in these shows, you know? And I feel like that's like my biggest negative, you know? So that's all I have to say.
All right, fair enough. Let's see here. Shifty, go ahead. Dislikes.
Well, I mean, I think last season we got that from the show. They like I keep going on about it that we had so many plot threads going on, and it was interesting. And they dropped off big time this season, and it could be because Filoni's spread too thin. I mean, he's got Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka. This, I mean, he's got so many projects going. This was put to the wayside. Maybe it'll pick back up this season towards the end, or maybe it'll come back next season and be more like the first. But Danny said he doesn't fall asleep on the show. It's funny because I actually fell asleep three different times trying to watch this last episode. I just couldn't get engaged into it. I think my biggest dislike is there was, like I said, there was no payoff with the revelation of who stole the ship. Shows
Seriously.
like Andor. Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't you say you get up at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning and watch this show?
Well, I'm up at that time anyway. But I mean, I watched it at several different times out throughout the day, and it is just dull, and nothing engaging. But like I said earlier, I was actually angry that there was no payoff to the revelation of who stole the ship. Shows like Andor, it's just so well written and engaging. They don't have to rely on fan service, but this, I think there needs to be some sort of fan service to, especially if there's not, a real good story to hook you in. There should have been some sort of fan service reveal as to who stole the ship. He took off that mask and immediately he kind of looked like Poe Dameron. And I was like, no, that can't be Poe. And then, as it went on, I was like, well, before they revealed his name was Benny, I said, well, could this be DJ as a kid? No, it wasn't DJ either from, the last guy. And it was just some random kid on some random planet. And, I just, there was nothing to reward us from sitting through the boring episode before. And, it was a waste of 2 episodes.
All right, then. Ostinator.
Oh boy, saving the best for last. Okay, here we go. Alright, first of all, literally in one episode they were stuck in a cave the entire time. I mean, it wasn't even very interesting at all. Like, it was just them, like, they literally get stuck in a cave and they're like, oh shit, man, this kind of sucks. And then they're like all fighting each other, and then Omega's like, well, I'm leaving. And then then magically she finds the whatever they were mining, and because of course it's convenient that if something happens to it, it explodes. It's like, all right, like, sure. Like, and even like the character development, like I said earlier, with Omega and even Tech to a degree, it was fine. But I feel like it was just kind of there to kind of I don't know, add something to an already like nothing burger of an episode. And I think Danny brought it up earlier. The repetitiveness is starting to just get to a point where it's like, oh, like it started to get roll your eyes where they're like, picture this, if you will. This is your episode, right? The Bad Batch are on a mission for Sid. I know this is groundbreaking stuff. Then they're on a mission for Sid, and then of course something goes wrong. You know, their ship gets stolen. Oh my god, I know, crazy. And then they get stuck in a cave, and then they got to find where their ship went. And then conveniently, the ship's still on that planet. So there's just, you have 2 episodes that really don't do anything. The story itself is just kind of boring and bland, because it's like, we've seen this story so many times, not even in just the show, but in other shows like that are Star Wars related, where like a ship gets stolen, they got to find the ship, and then it turns into then there's this big other plot that's going on with the whole slaver guy. And even then, it wasn't that interesting. I thought Benny as a character was annoying. Like, he magically just has a change of heart, even though, like, he just sold him out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I won't disagree with how you put that. Yeah, okay, go. I'm just... Go ahead.
Hunger Man, she do crazy stuff. She gave a cookie bar and he befriended her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that, but at the same time, it's like, kind of what you said too, Danny, and going back to repetitiveness, like, Omega getting another friend, it's like, alright, like, can we get something new? And Dandelion says it best, that we're not engaged because the show has no goal or purpose. Like, these characters, the Bad Batch, are not interesting. Like, out of all the episodes this series, the 3 episodes that were good had nothing to do with the Bad Batch. That should be kind of telling. And the fact we're only like 10 episodes in, and 3 of them, like I said earlier, 3 of them had anything to do with any type of story. Like, I can count on one hand how many episodes really mattered, and I can count on 2 hands the amount of episodes that don't. And I called it beforehand that I really didn't want them to get to a point where it's like they're going to rush the story last minute. Well, we got 6 episodes left, and unless they do filler for the next 2 episodes, they're really putting themselves in a dangerous situation of they're going to be forced to be in that situation where they have to rush. And I don't know. Like, and I think Shifty said it best. You know, I was not personally a fan of the first season of Bad Batch, but I will give season 1 this. There was something going for it.
Mm-hmm.
This season, however, there's really nothing. Like, you would think that the story would be more focused on the Bad Batch and that, you know, the clones being phased out, which, yeah, we do get that, but it's like, when we're only getting 3 episodes of, like, a story and 7 episodes of them just failing missions for Sid, it gets to a point of now it's starting to get boring, and honestly, it's sometimes it's worse to be boring than just absolutely bad, because at least when it's absolutely bad, you can talk about it and make fun of it. This is just, it's boring. Like, this show really needs to start picking up, and I just don't, at this point, I'd be surprised if it did, because right now I think we're just too far gone right now to really even get to a point where it's like it'll be a satisfying ending, because no matter what ending it is, even if it's the best thing we've ever seen, we had to get through all these crappy episodes. So it's like, either way, there's really no winning or losing in this situation. It's
The Mandalorian did it, because some people said the Mandalorian was the same thing, repetitive, redundant, and then get Luke Skywalker at the end and save the season.
Well, sure, but even in Mando season 2, you still had episodes that were fun. You know, you had episodes that were building, like, at least was building towards something. Like, this season right now, there's nothing.
And there was character development in Mando as well, between Mando and Grogu.
I'm not saying that I'm one of the people that said that. I'm saying that I've heard that being said,
Mm-hmm.
that it was redundant, and I know people saying all they did was go out on these little missions.
Well,
but then
let's 1743 really quick here. I always thought the idea was supposed to be the protagonists don't always win, showing how people are really losing because of the Empire. Though it's a little heavy right now. I don't disagree with that, but there's also a right way to do it, I think. And I'm not sure if they're doing it the right way. I'm sorry, Danny. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, some people are saying that it was a bunch of this missions, same thing over and over and over. And then it picked up with the Ahsoka episode. Then it picked up again with Luke Skywalker at the end. I'm just saying, maybe they're going to use that same formula. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying I like it. But maybe they're going to save the best for the last 2 or 3 episodes, which is very boring, like Austin said, but it's worked for them in the past. Maybe they're going to try that same thing. I personally like Book of Boba Fett. A lot of people on the panel didn't like it, but to me, I learned a lot about Boba Fett, stuff that I didn't know, and I'm a firm believer that when you're young and dumb, you do stupid stuff. When you get my age, or older, you start doing more stuff that, one, you can't do, one, that you can do better, and 3, that, okay, I'm wiser now. I know that's not going to work. So that's the Boba Fett I thought we saw. But when times would need for him to kick ass and take names, I thought that he did it. But just my 2 cents.
Anything else, Austinator?
No, that honestly, that's it. This show is I don't know what, like, Ninjoid may have put the nail on the head there with, and everybody else. Like Dave Filoni, he's either got to be stretched thin or he really is just like who cares about this? We got Mando coming up soon. Like nobody really watches the show anyway. So
yeah, and he's putting his hard work and effort in Ahsoka. Like he's been working a lot on Ahsoka. We all know that.
Oh, I know he definitely does. He's probably will, because we all know what he feels about her. But it's just kind of a shame, because like I'm not saying the idea of the show is particularly bad, but I think me and Ninja were talking about this last night. The Bad Batch were not really that interesting of characters in season 7. So it's like you're already doing a series about characters that don't really matter. Now the grand arching story of phasing out the clone troopers and bringing in the stormtroopers, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That is the more interesting part about it. But when it's just they haven't really done that this season. So if they focused more on that, I would have at least enjoyed it. But it's just there's not much to it right now.
All right. So my dislikes really quick here. I don't disagree with anything anybody's saying, but as we're talking, as I'm reading what Litson 1743 is saying, and the time frame we have left to close up this season, I have some ideas, but I'll put them in here next after my dislikes. The wandering aimlessly. Yes, it is a good point that Litson makes, where he says, or where they say, I'm sorry to appropriate male, female, whatever. But it is correct. They are wandering. But that doesn't mean every episode has to be wandering. They were on Coruscant. Those 2 episodes were really good. You can have more of those that are direct nail in the heads trying to, they know that the clones are starting to get in trouble. Maybe they start going around trying to gather clones up and get them someplace safe. Or they feel like if they can get enough clones together, they can try to, win start another maybe civil war from the inside. Maybe. I mean, I'm just saying there's other ways you could go, but they're not. They're like, here, we're going to go to Coruscant, and now we know, oh, wait, clones are fucked. Damn it. Oh, well, let's go mine some Ipsium. It's like, no, when Tech left, or was it Tech or Echo? Echo.
It was Echo
left. Yeah, when Echo left, they don't have to go with Echo. They says, you know what, you're right. Rex, where do you want us to go? Give us something to do. Let us, give me, what needs to be done to fix this situation, or to try to make sure we're not caught off guard. I mean, They could have gone a different direction right there. And that could have been the turning point of the whole season, going into something else. And they didn't take it. You had the wandering already. Now here's a real purpose. And that's what they're looking for, is a purpose. And they've even said it. They're like, well, we don't want to keep doing this for Sid, jumping around, what are we doing? We need to, there's better things to do. And even Tech even said it, that, there are important things to do, and yet they don't do it. So, that just seems maddening, that they give you a good tease and then no, and and it's like, I'm not sure if it's Dave Filoni so much. I'm not really sure where the problem is, but it is the whole, Bad Batch sent off by Sid to go do something. They get there, they did it the first time they did it, but then they got caught up in the stampede and then the storm. And it's like, okay, it's the same story. At least once, maybe surprise us and let them actually finish something or get through it. In fact, you could have had them at some point, if you'd shortened this episode up a little bit and gotten their ship back, they could have gone back and maybe we find out they mined enough ipsium to put it in the ship, and that's what you see them going off with. Hey, look, they actually got what they want, what they were there for. I don't know. It is maddening that every time they don't get it. I think that works better when it's a folly story, where it's comical. This isn't comical. This is almost like you're watching a drama, and when you already know what's going to happen every time, it doesn't help that. A drama has to have twists and turns in it. Like, oh look, they're finally making headway in something, and then the next 2 episodes go by, they're doing all right. Next thing you know, nope. That's what, and I think Austin said it best when he said, 2 steps forward, and he said 5 steps back. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. You're never making any headway. If you make a little headway, these pitfalls, these times when they don't get the missions completed and stuff, aren't as bad. And it's okay. You can deal with it. But it's every episode almost. And although we like the episodes, the Clone Conspiracy and Truth and Consequences, at the end, it was the same thing. As they said, the Emperor got us. Oh, damn. He saw us coming and he screwed us over. He did it for us. So they even didn't complete that whole mission. It's kind of weird. Hold on here. Let's see here. Seems like their attempt to fix the focusing on Omega problem, they just lost focus almost. Maybe. But so that's what I'm saying, is the repetitive nature of something. It's okay if you add some high points. There's no high points to this. It is literally, I think, boring. If this was a color, it would be like gray, because it is so one note and it's in a line right now. If this was a heartbeat, it would be just doo. That's literally where it's at. So there is hope, though. And I'm not saying they're going to do what I'm going to talk about here after you guys go. But I have some ideas that they could go with, that actually the next 6 episodes could be full of good things and change our mind of the season. Maybe. But before I say anything about that, we're going to go on and give our final thoughts, our grades, and any predictions you guys might have. Let's start down there with Mr. Positivity himself, Austinator. Give us that positive vibes about the final thoughts on these last 2 episodes.
Oh God, yeah, Mr. Positivity. I love this show, guys. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's perfect. My final thoughts is they really need to get their shit together. I mean, we got 6 episodes left. Yeah, they can do it. I've seen this shit before, where there's a ton of filler episodes and then they wait till the last 6 episodes and then they're good. But the problem is, because you do have a story there, it's just way too late to really even do anything. And maybe I'm proven wrong. But right now it seems like we're really going into that worst case scenario that I've talked about, where they're going to wait until the last minute to really do anything. And as far as predictions go, I really don't have anything because honestly, the next two episodes could be filler for all I know. And some weeks I've called it. I'm like, I bet you next week's gonna be a filler episode. I just know it. I know they're gonna do something for Sid. I know they're gonna do this. I know they're gonna do that. I personally, Sid's probably gonna betray them at some point. And like Dandelion, I don't blame her. I mean, if I had bumbling idiots like failing every mission, I'd probably kick him to the curb too. But hopefully Crosshair shows up again. Hell, I would even appreciate an episode with just Echo and Rex and what they're doing, because that episode would probably be better than whatever the hell we're getting right now. As far as my final grades for these two episodes, F. Like, I genuinely speaking, I can't go any higher than that. Like, the fact that we're at episode 10 and we got 2 straight episodes of filler, one episode where they're in a cave, and then the other one, well, they're finding a ship. It was just these 2 episodes. Like, maybe there is something going on in the background, like you said, Chris. Like, maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong way. But from what I've seen, it just feels like they went about it the wrong way. It's not working.
Okay. I don't disagree. And with any like predictions though, anything, or just please, dear God, let these 6 episodes go by in a flash.
Well, it's half of it's like, please, for the love of God, kill me now. Please let these 6 episodes just go by quick, because if I have to watch 6 more weeks of this, I'm going to lose my mind. But predictions wise, maybe not at the end of this season. Like, I predict at the end of this season that they have to at least start getting rid of the clones, whether they start killing them or they start like being driven off world. They have to start doing something with that, because if we're gonna get another season, because God forbid, all we need is another season of Bad Batch. What they should do is, if you're not going to do that, then maybe you need to start kind of building to something.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe have the clones, like, you're starting to, maybe there's a rebellion of sorts, and then Vader, if Vader showed up in the last episode, that'd be like a gift from God. But, I'm not expecting anything at this point. So, I just want some, like, just please, for the love of God, these next 6 episodes just need to go by quick, and I hope something happens to where I can at least enjoy it somewhat. But other than that, I have nothing else to say other than they are this show.
All right, Sifty, go ahead.
Grade, episode 9, D, episode 10, D minus. They weren't good at all. Final thoughts and predictions. Other than the rumored crossover elements between Mando, I don't know what they're going to do this season. I don't know. I just don't know. I hope it gets better. I really do. But I'm at the point where I don't know if I care much anymore. I'll still watch it, but I don't know.
Okay. And any predictions? No?
No, but I would like to say that Disney Plus and Roku need to get on the ball and get the ad tier of Disney Plus on Roku. It's not on there because Disney won't give them any of the ad revenue off the ad tier. So Roku is like, nope, we ain't going to carry it. And I subscribe to that because I'm on a discounted package deal and I can't watch Mando on any of my TV. So that kind of sucks. So, and there's a lot of people in the same boat.
You can't download Disney Plus?
Well, no, you can download it, but when you try to watch it, if you're subscribed to the ad tier, as soon as you log in, it says, sorry, you're subscribed to the ad tier, and go to this website, and we'll tell you why you can't watch it on Roku. I've got like 2 Roku TVs and like 4 Roku boxes, and I can't use any of them. So I'm going to have to either watch it on a laptop or a Kindle. It's inconvenient. You pay the money to subscribe, and you can't watch it on television.
Okay. So Nindroid.
All right.
Final thoughts, grades, and if you have predictions.
Alrighty. These were not my cup of tea. D's, just straight
Okay.
up solid D's for both of them.
Double D's, nice.
Yeah.
In the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, my predictions for the rest of the show, I think Sid needs to betray them, probably, to wrap up and give some importance to that faster episode. And then they're actually going to call Crosshair to probably go and kill the Bad Batch, most likely, or at least retrieve them for the Emperor's plan. They escape. Then that leads to them going to find Rex and whatchamacallit, Echo, and Cody might even be there now because he did go AWOL. He did go missing, so maybe Cody met up with Rex off screen, and maybe they're planning to start a clone rebellion of sorts in the insides of Coruscant, and eventually they are all there, and Palpatine kills them all. That's probably what happens, by probably the new stormtroopers all killing them, or killing most of them. Not saying all of them. Like the Bad Batch, I don't see them killing Omega off, but you get what I mean. And honestly, I really hope that we get some closure on that last scene in season 1 where they transported the one Kaminoan that made them to that one planet for Palpatine's clone research facility and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hope that gets resolved some point.
That might be the link and Bad Batch this season.
Yeah. No, that's actually true. No, yeah. But that's all
Which part were you talking about there?
I was talking about, so at the end of season 1 we saw that Kaminoan that made the Bad Batch. She got transported to that one planet for Palpatine's cloning research and all that.
Yeah.
Hope that they bring that back up, because that was the last scene of season 1. So that was like their big thing, like, oh, see, this is what happened. She's still alive. So what will happen next? We haven't seen anything from her at all. We haven't seen that planet at all. So it's like, come on now, guys. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Those are my predictions.
Okay, very good. Danny, final thoughts, grades, all that. Danny? Okay. He might be on the phone. I don't know. Oh, or he can just drop off. If he comes back, we'll get to him. All right, so final thoughts, grades for me. I am going to go right around that D, maybe a D+. There are things I liked about these 2 episodes. I really think they did very well with the handshake from one to the next. If this was it somehow... Oh, here we go. Hold on. All right, Danny. Final thoughts, grades.
I get it as a C-. Like I said, I don't really hate this. This series could it be better? Hell yeah. But like I said, my grandson, he likes it, and I'm able to explain stuff to him, and this kind of feeds his interest into Star Wars. I definitely agree with the other fellows on there that they gotta do something in these last 6 episodes if they want to save it. But we've seen this before. This seems to be Star Wars formula. It started off really slow in the last season of Clone Wars when they had like those sisters that Ahsoka went to in the garage, and no one really cared about it. And then once they introduced Maul, the season picked up. So this seems to be something that Star Wars does. They'll start off really slow. They might give you a little bit of fire in between, but generally is considered slow, or like, oh, you're nodding off, and then they throw something in there that gets everybody going. So we've seen it in Mandalorian, we've seen it in Boba Fett, we've seen it in the season 7 of the Clone Wars. So I'm thinking these last few episodes, I don't know if it's 5 or 4, last 4 or 5. I think they're going to pick it up. Whether or not it saves it, I don't know, but we shall see.
Anything that's like a prediction or anything?
I'm kind of with Ninja on what he said. I believe Sid's she's probably gonna get between a rock and a hard place, and she's gonna betray him, or either her true self, her true nature will come out when she no longer has use for them. I thought that was gonna happen this time. I thought she sent them because Sid should have known that mine was a dud. So I was thinking that was maybe her first attempt of doing it. But I think now she's gonna get more motivated. They're probably gonna throw some money at her that she can't refuse. She's probably gonna betray him, and I can see Crosshair coming back. Crosshair might even go back into the fold. I mean, I don't know, but
Okay.
I can see that happening.
Okay. All right. So like I was saying, these 2 episodes weren't horrible in the grand scheme of how they work together, the story being told. The problem is that this is every episode, and this is everything, and they're not really moving towards anything. Now, when I was saying that, when I was listening to everybody, I was like, well, wait a minute. They mentioned the Empire. This is going on in other places. So that's going to be a threat. They are bringing that threat in. The Empire is destroying everything, even though they say they are the people that are going to restore the prosperity to the galaxy and all of that. So that there is a small thread of the plot element in these 2 episodes. Very, very tiny, very thin thread, but it is there. Then I thought, well, wait a minute. When Sid said she was going to send somebody in a day or 2, did you notice the hang up? She just flat out hung up on him, and then the look she gives. Mm-hmm. So what's going on this whole season? They are going on missions, and they are failing missions. So what if Sid is now in such a bind with multiple people, maybe even the Empire, that she sells them out? Now, when she sells them out, I think she'll come back and say, come back to the fold and help them in the end. But when that is, and it's like, why did you sell us out? They said, listen, I sent you on missions that were helping keep you hidden, because I was making money. I was able to pay off people. I was able to do that.
Well, we saw the same thing in Lando Calrissian. He double crossed Han Solo on them, and then he saves them.
But in this case, I think maybe. But I think when she tells them, she'll be like, listen, I was helping keep you hidden, and the only way I can do that, it costs money. People knew you were here. People knew you were doing this for me. And then you started failing these missions. I wasn't having anything come back, so they came after me, and I had to give you up. And they kind of look at it going, okay, well, then that builds in all the losing and all the failed missions. At least that builds that back in. And they're like, okay, now it makes sense that they were literally backing her into a corner that she couldn't get away from. There's also the fact that we have 6 episodes left. So you put that episode in, that's 1, or you put that in an episode or 2 to wrap that up. Then you have the Echo and Cody, Rex. Echo and Rex. You get that together, or you put that in where the Bad Batch come to them, and in that, sprinkled in there, you get 2 more episodes where you can throw Crosshair into it too, where he's after the whole thing. They can do this in 6 episodes, and they can wrap this up fairly nicely. Now, I'm not saying they're going to do any of that, but I think they are maybe in my opinion, a bad way, but I think they might be building in these things to the plot. It's just we're not going to see it till the very, very end. Like, oh, okay, now it makes a little more sense. Hopefully that's what they do. Not saying they're going to. My grade for this, though, like I said, is about D+. 2
They
D+.
got 4 hours left of each episode was about 20 minutes. So 20 times 6 is 240, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, 120. So divide that by 60.
Yep.
You got 2 hours. They got 2 hours.
Entertainment from being top group. It's just guys that are not fun. But I mean, I don't know. I think there's hope for this, but if you're gonna have so much filler, you need to cut this down in an episode. You know, cut the episodes down.
They got
I think
2
these
hours
seasons.
worth of episodes.
Yeah, I think this should be like an 8-episode seasons. That's all this should be. And really focus on those 8 episodes. And if you had to make them an hour each, fine, whatever. But but I don't know. And maybe it is. Maybe you guys are right, Dave Filoni. Maybe he's just focusing on the other stuff going on. And as Danny has said, they really do need to focus on Ahsoka. They do. Ahsoka's got to be. Listen, Ahsoka's the first series that we've gotten that is going to be quote unquote led by a Jedi. That you can't. If you screw that up, there's no hope.
Obi-Wan was.
Yeah, but we know that story. We kind of knew where that was going to go. I mean, this is the first truly. We don't have anywhere to go with this. We know what happened before Obi-Wan. We know what happens eventually after Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Ahsoka, we don't know.
Also, it's the sequel to Rebels, so it does have a lot going for it. Like, a lot going for it.
And it's kind of setting up the Thrawn stuff, if that's going to be a big crossover event.
Man, everybody keeps talking about Thrawn. If they don't throw Thrawn in that's the stuff I'm talking about. There's so much stuff that people expect in that if he doesn't do that.
And there's a small chance they may talk about the World Between Worlds stuff at some point. So, there's a lot of stuff going into that. Okay.
It's interesting.
Maybe. All right.
I think
with
there's
that said, guys.
Yeah.
What was that? Andrew?
I was just commenting on Shifty's thing. I think there's a high chance because we already know that Ahsoka's going to see like a variant of her fighting Anakin on Mustafar. Yeah. We already know that. So, yeah, it's a high chance that World Between Worlds stuff is finally being introduced, really. But, yeah.
That'd be interesting. All right. With that said, guys, we're going to wrap this up tonight. We're just over an hour. Good talk. I know we're all... I mean, let's back away from the negativity about this stuff and things like that. We're all Star Wars fans. We want this show to succeed. We want this show to be good. We want this show to be fun. Right, Austinator?
Whatever you want to believe, Chris.
You don't like disliking Star Wars, do you?
Okay, no, I don't like disliking Star Wars.
That's what I mean.
But when I see shit like this, and I see them continuing to fuck shit up, it's like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, it sucks.
Yeah, but
no, I'm going to be honest about it.
You're a wrestling fan. You should be used to this.
Yeah, no, I know. Trust me, I've been a wrestling fan for so long. I know the feeling. After all the years of the bullshit that Vince McMahon and everybody else has, fucked it up, we're finally getting somewhere. Not slowly but surely. We're kind of improving, although not really. But hey, I try to have fun as much as I can. And it's Star Wars. I don't want to hate Star Wars. I don't want to hate anything. And maybe this is just me being fickle. Because
But that's what I'm saying is nobody here wants to hate it. So we want to. So ultimately, what that means is you want to see these shows succeed. You want to see good shows.
Oh yeah.
That's what I mean.
That's why I'm hard on it, because I want shit to be better, but it can't get better unless somebody says, "Hey, this isn't working. Maybe try this." And maybe I need to have that mindset instead of being like, "Yeah, this fucking sucked." Like maybe I should be like, "Here, this
You are
sucked."
beyond hard, bro. You are in brutal.
Oh, I'm very brutal.
Like supporting a sports team with a losing record. You know, you've been a fan all your life.
Oh, sure. It's like wrestling where it's like, you know, you have a guy that you like and you want to see him succeed, but then they won't let him succeed, so it's like, fuck. Then it's like, then you feel bad. It's like, you know, I wish it could have been better, but it's like with Star Wars. It's like I don't want to hate it. I don't want to hate Marvel either. I don't want to hate DC. You know, they've done a lot of great stuff. Like Star Wars has done a lot of great stuff that I still like. It's just I don't know. It's just the shit that they do just continue. It's like a stick in my craw. It's like every time they do something, it's like they keep trying to press those buttons of which one's going to get me to just flip. But you know, at this point with Bad Batch, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not even angry anymore. It's like after all this, it's like, are we really surprised?
Obviously, you're not.
No.
No. Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's, you know, it is what it is, and you know, but what I mean is we hope for better. I mean, listen, Mandalorian season 3 hopefully is really cool. Ahsoka will be awesome, and I know there's people on here who don't like Andor. Shifty and I are really high on Andor though, so I'm looking forward to the next Andor. You know, and
Skeleton Crew.
What was that?
Skeleton Crew. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah. No, I mean, so there's some good stuff there. All right. Let's go through the real quick the polls. Did you like these 2 episodes of Bad Batch? 71% said yes, 28% said no, which I don't know who was here when that was done. What are you looking forward to more, The Mandalorian season 3 or the next episode of the Bad Batch? Well, 78% said the season 3 and 21% said the next episode of the Bad Batch. Interesting. Again, grade C minus or C plus got 37%. B minus B or B plus got 31%. F D minus D or D plus got 31%, and A or A minus got goose egg. So interesting indeed. With that said, guys, thank you everybody. Thank you for my panel. One more time, go around, tell everybody about yourself. Shifty, we'll start with you since you're Shifty.
I'm Shifty, and you can find me on Twitter.
There you go. At Shiftyism, as you see in his little note down here. Next, Ostinator, tell everybody about yourself.
Hello, I'm the Ostinator. I do a bunch of stuff on my channel. You know, I gotta do more wrestling stuff. You know, I just love talking about it. You know, the good, the bad. I could talk to you hours about wrestling. Like, God, I like that stuff, you know. And I do a bunch of other stuff on my channel. I do a bunch of DC, Marvel stuff. Actually, next week, I think, the 11th, or whatever that Saturday is, I think that'll be the official DC Animated Movie Universe ranking stream. So that'll be interesting about how those opinions are going to match up, which I'm going to be quite honest with you. Ninjroid's list is completely wrong. Mine is right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I respect everybody's opinions, as you can tell. Yeah, just subscribe to everybody. They're all great people. Chris, thanks for having me on. Hopefully I'm more positive next episode. If not, well, fuck.
Don't look forward to that.
No, at this point, it's just more of a...
Hey, did y'all review Batman by Gaslight?
Not yet, no.
I watched that the other night. I was not impressed.
I gotta watch it again.
That's like the detective noir, like old school 50s detective one, right? Yeah, I liked it.
Not even that. And like who the bad guy was, like what? And then the guy that sounded incredibly like Kevin Conroy, and I looked at the credits at the end, it wasn't Kevin Conroy. So they need to get him because he sounds just like Kevin Conroy. But it was not the Batman I'm used to. He's getting his ass whipped most of the damn movie.
That happens sometimes.
Batman?
Sometimes. I said sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah. I know you don't want to see that. I didn't say you wanted to see that. But Nindroid, tell everybody about yourself.
All right. You guys can personally find me on Star Wars Network. That's my YouTube channel, as well as Superhero Network. That's where all my superhero content goes. You can find me on here whenever I don't work. Okay? So, yeah. Because I don't even know if I work next Sunday or not. So, yeah. Because it just
when does your schedule come out?
It's every single Thursday.
Okay.
So
well, just let me know on Thursday what your days off are, and if we have to kind of, because the Mandalorian Roundtable is going to start up too, and I don't know if I'm doing that or what. If I do that,
I don't mind doing it. I just don't know how to make an intro.
Okay, we'll talk to Anzo, and as long as it's on here, because it's been on here every season so far. That's all I care about. We'll talk. Just let me know what days off you have, and we can try to make that work. So, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, anyway, that's really all. You can always find me on my buddy Austin's channel, and that's really it. And thank you, Chris, for inviting me on.
Not a problem. Danny, tell everybody about yourself.
I'm Danny, aka Comet Chad. You can find me Monday nights on Khaos Central on one of the 3 shows. Khaos Conversation, Khaos List, or The Rule of 3. You can find me here on whatever night we do the roundtable. Wednesday nights, usually around 8 o'clock, you can find me the Hangout, which is Guys Squad channel. And sometime on Ozo's show, I'll be lurking in the chat depending on the particular topic, direction it's going. And last but not least, you can find me on Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Storms Live with Robert Storm, Guy Scar, Adams, Ozo. And we talk about just about anything that pops to the mind. So 6 more episodes, so we'll see how it goes. We're doing this for JJ.
I do appreciate everybody watching, and appreciate everybody who was here today. Thank you very much. I am Chris Knight. The Real Review 3000 is my channel, as Danny said. Khaos Central is another place you can find me right here. Monday nights we have our shows. We do these shows, other things occasionally. And also over on Honstar YT, where we do Name That Tune, which may or may not be back this Sunday. We're waiting on one of our contestants for the finals. And I actually started trying to get stuff together to finish up with the Rumble. So keep tuned for that, guys, because we're going to try to basically bang those out pretty darn quick. I'm not sure exactly how, but I might actually be getting back my Wednesday and Thursday nights, which will help. My work finally hired somebody else to do the Wednesday, Thursday night thing I've been doing. So thank you, Jesus. Anyways, with that said, guys, thank you everybody who was here today. I appreciate it, and I think that's a wrap. And thank you. Peace.
Bye-bye.